Step 1 for drawing this vertical circle in 2-point perspective is to go and take the circle in the front view and divide it up using a 30 and 60 degree set square. So from its center point we're going to draw a line to intersect with the curve at a 30 degree angle. In construction, as well as another line on this side at a 30 degree angle to intersect with the curve, then at a 60 degree angle from the center point to intersect with the curve, another 60 degree angle to intersect with the curve, as well as a vertical line. And of course it's horizontal. Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2 is then to go and deal with the top view over here. We've got an arc, okay, which is going to have a circle in the front and the back. I've given depth to it, which you're going to find in a lot of questions. And step 1 is to go and find the center point of the back line here. I'm using the back line because it's going to be less messy than using the front. And take your compass, place it on the same size as the circle that you have in your front view, and then draw an arc in construction. You're then going to take that arc and you're going to break it up using your 30 and 60 degree set square as well. Take note that this view is drawn at a 45 degree angle. So to be able to correctly break up the circle, you put your 45 degree set square down first, and then place your 30-60 degree set square on top of that, okay, to be able to do the breakup. So I'm going to do the 60 degree first, do my 60 degree angle there, do it on the other side. And then my 30 degree on the one side, and then the 30 degree on the other side. Okay, now we have a breakup which is the same as the one in our front view. I'm just going to darken this a bit more so you can see that better. Okay. So you've broken up that circle now in the top view there, the same as what you have in your front view. And now we need to go and use all of those breakup points there, okay, to go and break up this straight line here, because that straight line in our top view there, that represents our arc, which we can see in our front view. So we want to break up that straight line there using each of the points that we found on this arc. So we're going to project those across onto that line. As well as the center point. Now remember that of course will all be in construction. And now that we've broken up this line using our marks off of our circle, we now have to go and find each of these points in our 2-point perspective layout here. Now to be able to do that, I've already gone and placed in my left-hand vanishing point and right-hand vanishing point. My standing point is at the bottom over here, okay, and I now need to go and find all of those points on that line, and because it's on the line facing up in that direction, and because it doesn't touch the picture plane, I'm going to have to extend that line onto the picture plane to create a line which touches the picture plane. So I'm going to extend that line so that it hits the picture plane, and then I'm going to project that straight down into my 2-point view. And then I'm going to take the height of the first set of points, okay, which in this case is going to be over here where that circle starts. I'm going to take that height across onto that line, and then I'm going to project that up to my right hand vanishing point. Because this line faces up and to the right, this point that I'm now going to draw in is going to also go up to the right hand vanishing point. Now that line that I've just drawn, that line now represents this line, okay, in my 2-point view. Okay, and I'm now going to go and find each of these points over here on that line. So the normal method of taking each point in the direction of my SP, okay, till it hits my picture plane. I'm going to do that with all of them. We don't draw it all the way through to the SP, it's not necessary. Just draw it until it touches your picture plane. Okay, so there's each of them drawn down onto my picture plane, and then I've got to project each of those points straight down so that they hit somewhere on this line, and where they hit on that line, that point there where it hits on that line, that will be my first starting point of my arc, and then this point on this end over here will be the end of my arc. Okay, because those two end points over there are on that same height line, so I can mark them both on this line. Then each of the other points, okay, that we have here are different heights according to our front view over here. So we need to take each height across one at a time to go and find those points in the correct height. So I'm going to start with these points here, moving inwards. So project that across. That lines up with both of those 2 points. I take that onto that line that I extended, okay, and then I take that point through to my vanishing point. Okay, and then I'm going to go and find the 2 points that correspond. Okay, those 2 points over there correspond with those 2 points there, which I projected down and onto that line there. So I'm going to take each of those 2 lines where they hit my picture plane and project them down, and that will give me another 2 points of my arc. And where those 2 intersect that line, that'll give me my next 2 points. Okay, then for the next 2 points, I'm now going to take their height across, which is over there. I'll project that across onto that same extended line. I'll do it a bit darker. Okay, cross onto that extended line where it intersects that extended line. You then project that through to the same vanishing point. Okay, and then again go and find the 2 points that correspond with those 2 points here in this view, which will be those 2. They've been projected down onto that line, and then from there we're going to follow them onto our picture plane and then straight down. So I'll take each of those, that one there, as well as that one, and where they intersect with my height line, which I brought across, that's my next 2 points. Okay, and then the last one, of course, will be the top point of our arc. I'm going to project that across, also onto the same line, the same extended line. Okay, take that through to your vanishing point. Okay, and then the matching point over there in our top view, we're going to follow across down and then project it onto our height line. and then mark that off. Okay, so all of those points there are now going to give us our curve, and we'd use a French curve to go and join those up to get those arcs. I'm just going to quickly sketch it in so that you can see it. You'd have to use a French curve for it, but just so that you can see where that arc would go. That's round about what the arc would look like. Once you've done it with a French curve, it would look a lot neater than that. But now, of course, you've got depth. Okay, and to get that depth, we're going to take each of those points that we've now found here, and we're going to project them to our left-hand vanishing point, because all of these lines that we have here are facing up and to the left. So to go and get our depth lines, we'll take every single one of those lines, project them to our left-hand vanishing point. Okay, so we've got all those lines projected to our left-hand vanishing point, and now we need to find where each of those lines has to end, and to do that we do the same process as what we did with these points. We're going to project them in the direction of our SP onto our picture plane straight down to check and see where each of these lines ends. And we're going to have to take them one at a time and be very careful not to get confused with our lines. So that first one there, okay, we'll take that direction of our SP onto our picture plane, then project it straight down and let it meet up with the line that we're extending it from, which would be there, to match with that point. That is the point that we are trying to find. There's the first point that we found there. There's the one we're getting now. Okay, so we've taken that line, projected it down. Okay, so that's our second point, our back point of our curve. Now we'll do the same thing with the next point. Okay, which is going to be that point there. We take that point, direction of our SP, onto our picture plane, project that straight down. And again, where that then goes and intersects this line here, which comes from that corresponding point, that's going to be the next point of our curve. And then we follow through to the next point here in our top view. Same thing from there, the direction of our SP onto our picture plane. Where it hits the picture plane, we take that point, project it straight down, and then again we're going to match it up with where that projected line comes through. Okay, and that's going to be right over there. And then the same thing with the next one. Next point will be the center point there. Take that, direction of our SP onto our picture plane. It falls directly on that same line, so we don't have to project it down. Follow that down to meet up with the line projected off of our center point, and we'll get a point over there. Now you'll see that any other point that you get is going to fall behind this curve. Okay, so there's no real need that we are going to have to find one more. We're going to have to find that one up there, so that's this point here. Same process. Okay, take that point there, direction of our SP onto our picture plane, and then project that straight down. And you'll see that there'll be a point there which meets up with. Okay, and that's the last point we have to do, because the other 2 points over here, they are going to fall behind this, so we're not actually going to be able to see it. So if you take your French curve and you go and join this up with a French curve, and you'll get a nice arc like that. And of course the join between those 2 points there you would then do using a straight line, and there you have your curve.